What's up, YouTube? This is Big Texas Bassing. So, today I will be making a video on how to fish in pads and fish through moss and fish with tall grass. So, what I have here is probably y'all have heard of these methods. Hopefully y'all have. If not, I'll show y'all how to use them. So you have your Texas rigs here, and then you have your frogs. And this isn't just Texas rigs. This is bobber stops, sinker, hook, fluke, how to set it up. So I'm going to start with the Texas rigs, and I'll show you how and what to do with the frogs in a second. So the Texas rig, this is pretty much just going to be set up like this, and then you're going to have a bobber stop, which is one of these little tiny things like that you take and put in front of, you put it on your line in front of the sinker so that the sinker doesn't slide off in front and it would fall around. And so that way it punches a hole right in front of the lure rather than it punching a hole over here and the lure going in here and then getting moss covered on it and the fish not biting it because it thinks it's a wad of moss. So I prefer using bobber stop. Some people don't. It's up to you. But so a Texas rig is just this. It's you take an EWG hook. You can do 3, 4, 5 on hooks, and you take it and you hook it through to hook it into itself so it's completely weedless. And you can pull it. I've pulled these things through trees, through tall behind grass. Didn't get snagged once. So, and I've caught big fish on them. I caught a 6-pound carp on one of these. Watermelon with, watermelon with red flake in it. I caught a 6-pound carp. That's my biggest fish, sadly enoug. So, let's get into how to rig it. So, what you do is you take your EWG, this is a 3/0 hook, I believe. You take it and you just poke it straight down the center, down to the bend. Hook it straight down center, down to the bend here, and that's not hooked center. With these flukes, you want to make sure that you hook them straight down the center line. They have lines here, and then they have this here. You want to make it hook straight down the center line. So you take it, look at it, and then once you get there, you just pull it out through the side, and you push this all the way down, and then cover the eye and the rubber, so that you do this after you've tied the hook on, and you put it in there, and that helps protect the knot. And then, so you want to sit like that, with the hook coming like that. And so, you see, right here is where you want to hook it through. So you take it and you hook it through the center, right? Dang, that's not center. Come on. Right there. And then, no, it's not center, but y'all get the point. And then you take it and you pull it back and you poke it into itself so that it is completely weedless. What the heck is that rattling noise? It's annoying. But you take that and then you hook into itself so it's completely weedless. I can just ram into here and rub my finger over it and I will not get hooked. And that's also how I've done this Z-Man beaver. I've just done that and it's been perfect. And I won't get hooked. But when you're doing this with both frog and these, when you know that that fish has it in its mouth, you need to make sure you get a good hook set. Just yank it back. Ah, darn it. And so that way you can ram the hook out of the lure and into the fish's mouth real deep so you can pull it out the mats, out the moss, out the grass that you're in. And I prefer using it on a medium heavy to a heavy action rod. So that way it's easier to pull them out. And I like having a lighter tip so that way I can tell when they've actually taken the lure. And So that's what I have here is just a medium action rod, but it has a buzzbait tied on right now. And those are actually semi-weedless. You can pull them over mats without getting snagged sometimes because the paddle protects it. Alright, talking about these, not buzzbaits, but so you can take, where was it? Lost my train of thought here. My bad. So you hook it back in and it makes it weedless, and you use a medium heavy to heavy action rod so you can get it out of those mats once you catch the fish. And I prefer using anything from a 6-8 to 1 to 7-1 to 0, actually 6-3 to 1 gear ratio reel. And I'm not really too specific on what you use when, but those have just been good working for me. That's why I have a 6 to 8 on this one. This one I use for those. No, 6-3-1 gear ratio with a medium heavy rod. That's the H2 Express rod and reel. So, quit talking about that. But, and so when you rig this, you need to make sure that you have this in front of it on the line. So that, and you can use tungstens or you can use these bullet sinkers. These are just what I had. I haven't had a chance to go to Bass Pro or Walmart to get the tungstens. And so you want to make sure that the point is facing out like this, so that way it punctures through better. And so it hits in rather than this, because more moss can collect on here than it can on here. But that's that, and you make sure you want to put a bobber stopper there. So, I already showed you how to rig that. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the frogs. And I have, these are all, I don't have any of the ribbit frogs that are just the soft plastic frogs. But because I don't really like using those, I prefer to use the hollow body frogs. These are just traditional frogs, not poppers. And so, I have 3 different lengths of legs. I have long, short, but a bit longer than this one. And I have really short legs. And these long legs are for walking it. It helps you walk it when you have longer legs like this. And it gives the bass, the fish, to a bigger area to strike at rather than these, which is just this smaller area. And so this makes it so that they bite here and they hit the body and they bite the hooks, rather than here you get short struck and they'll just bite this, then when you hook set you'll just yank it straight out of their mouth. And then I have this, which is an extremely short legs, and then that's just what I said with this one. And I have these, let me move these aside, and I have these different colors. These are both for darker murky water, and this is for lighter colored water. And people say, oh, well, wouldn't you want to use this in lighter colored water because it's going to stand out more? Actually, this wouldn't stand out more because water's more brown, and so you need something dark to see that silhouette, because when this is out there, it's harder to see because it's a lighter color and it doesn't have a dark silhouette like this would. And so you can see the silhouette and they see that and they bite it. But by all means, if they don't have any dark frogs and all the frogs are white, you got some albino frogs in there, by all means, use this. Use whatever that lake has. Don't be going out with some strange color that the fish have never seen and they go, what the heck is that? I don't want to bite that because it's strange, you know. But sometimes the fish will bite anything that goes near them, like during the spawn. I know here at Lake Ray Hubbard, they spawn during June. You can pretty much throw anything. If you know where they spawn, you throw near them. They will almost definitely hit it every single time because they're stocking up to feed. So that way they have food for their eggs. And that way they can produce their eggs better. And they also are going to try and kill any competition And so, if they think this is a bass, which it doesn't really look like a bass, but if they think one of these are a bass or a baby bass, they want to kill that competition's children. That way, their kids are more likely to survive. So that way, those other fish don't attack the food. And so, alright, now I'm not even talking about how fish these or anything, but these are all weedless. I've pulled these out of trees, tall grass, moss, mats. I've never got snagged except for when I've been an idiot and thrown it really fast over a tree limb and it hits the tree limb and wraps around. That's the only time I've got hung up with these. And that's not even because hooks, because these are completely weedless. This is a KVD frog, and these are, I don't even know what brand they are because I got them with a set of lures off Amazon because I just needed lures because I moved here from South Carolina and lost all mine. And so, yeah. And so the way you would fish these is you can, some people, they will just reel it in with a stay reel and pump it every now and then, which I don't prefer to do because I don't think it makes enough noise for the fish that are near me. If that works with the fish near you, then you should do it. Whatever's going to catch more fish. But I prefer to either walk it or pump it. And what walking is when you have slack on the line and you take your rod tip and you just tap the rod tip down and it yanks the line. And so when the line's like this, it pulls it this way and makes it turn that way. And then the line's going to be like this. It's going to curve like that. And then you yank it and it comes this way. And so that's walking dog where it goes. Boop, 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 boop. And that's more of when you want to make a lot of commotion in the smallest amount of area to keep it under a tree where you know the bass are, or to keep it over there to irritate the fish to make them strike it. But popping is when you want to cover a lot of water to see if there are any bass in there, and you just yank it straight down and it'll slap the water to make a lot of commotion. Both of them make a lot of commotion, but popping makes a bit more, and you can use the popping frogs, which also make a lot of commotion, popping as the name suggests. And so that is the ways to fish these, and that's pretty much how you fish them and how you yeah, that's it for the video, I guess. And so like and subscribe down below, and have a good one, y'all. Try and catch some fish.